Testing, testing. Is this thing on? My chat was frozen for a second, so I just refreshed everything. Hopefully it's working. My computer was acting up just before stream, so I had to restart it, which is always fun, you know, when you're on a time crunch. Hope everyone's doing well. Trying to get all the chats pulled up because they take a minute to load on some platforms. I've got Twitch. I've got YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. I got TikTok up. Let's see here. Refresh. I do not have Steam yet. Alrighty. Hello, hello. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Steam seems to be on. Let me refresh on my end. Is not. There it is. Just came up for me. Took a minute, but it just came up. I got Steam now live. Cool. That was a little frustrating, but we're good. Okay, I now have every platform's chat available. Means I now monitor everything. Atlam, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Turn down that music a little bit. Kind of loud. Don't want to be blasting your eardrums out. So, welcome back, one and all. Sorry for that delayed start. We had some minor technical difficulties, but all sorted now. My name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today's stream is the Dam Challenge. The Dam Challenge is a ongoing bi-weekly map-making contest we host in our Discord and on our varied stream platforms. It is a fun contest where our community can kind of show off their skills against each other, compete, and potentially win prizes. The current theme is Ghost Town, so we're going to be going through the entries from that, and I do have the winner up right now, so very cool and excited to share that with you. Hey, Kaihira, how you doing? Welcome back. But, yeah, throughout the stream today, we'll be showcasing the various entries in the Dam Challenge, which followed that Ghost Town theme. So be sure to chill out and, check it out and see some of the entries from that. I do want to say congratulations to the winner, who was Troutfoot. I don't know if they're present currently, but this is the winning map. The great little build. Really liked that it was kind of just this hellscape prison. Oh, Troutfoot is here. Nice. So just want to kind of make everyone aware, we are currently multi-streaming on several different platforms. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch. I guess, yeah, we are on Twitter too. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Let's see, where else are we? We are live on Steam as well. So I'm monitoring chats in a bunch of different places, trying to make sure that if anyone does have questions or feedback, suggestions, etc., I am all for it. Let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Let's see here. Yeah, there was a lot of good entries. What really grabbed me for your entry at first was the lighting, and then as I dove in, I really started to discover more little things. You had a lot of verticality where there's these little prison cells just nestled into the wall, right? And then you also have some cool art back here. It looks like you took advantage of grab this here. And then there's more cells just kind of nestled in on the back there from like screenshots you took, right? That's just a really smart way to like extend the map with some neat art. Enjoyed the scenic stuff that you put in here. So Troutfoot, I would love to know, how long did this take you to make? Is my mic coming through? Hey, Stratus, welcome back. Sorry, my mic cut out for a minute on this end, and I just refreshed it. 5 hours? Not bad. Not bad at all, my friend. Ah! Hey, thank you for the likes, TikTok. Wow, we are just flowing with the love right now. Over 200 likes now. No one, I appreciate you very much. I really like the scenic backdrops. It really is immersive. Adds a lot of fun to the overall build, the aesthetic, if you will. $50,000 people used to live. Oh, thank you for the kind words, no one. Appreciate it. How long have you been using Dungeon Alchemist? That is a good way to give a tense feeling, for sure. Hey, John, how you doing? Welcome. We got a chat from Facebook at the moment. This map is awesome, isn't it? Glad you're here. Appreciate you. It is very easy to use, isn't it? By the way, no one, my name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. So you've actually you're chatting with someone who's on the team. Do you have any suggestions or feedback, or any kind of any information for us? Be glad to hear it. Sorry, I'm like kind of still processing my first coffee at the moment, so I'm a little out of it. John, thank you for that like, much appreciated. But yeah, Troutfoot over on Twitch says, yeah, it helps to achieve a sense of claustrophobia while implying death. I honestly, I mean, if you can really capitalize on like a core fear, it's a good way to create a sense of dread in a map, right? With a map or like an environment. And really that's like part of the like what you're trying to do with any map is to invoke emotion. And this map really does feel kind of like it's just a lot of different senses all at once. The lighting makes you feel like this is not safe, uninviting, probably toxic. You look at all the cells, most of them are just crammed in wherever they fit and probably are tiny, so as to not really make it pleasant for the person in them. Yeah, you did. It looks like you really went for it with the green screen items with the abstract. Glad to see you enjoyed them. Oh, right, John. The next update's going to be fantastic. It is going to be amazing. Really quickly, let me. Would anyone be interested in checking out a little teaser from the next update, or 2, or 3? Some of you may have seen these, some of you may have not. So this one was shared publicly on our socials, so you may have seen it, but just in case for those that didn't, this is a kind of work in progress alpha build showing multi-level and kind of prototyping for decking, you know, like patios, indoor, like floors above where you might have like maybe a cool staircase going up to whatever. But I could see this right now as like a basis for like the traditional kind of like tavern with an inn on the top floor. The top floor usually has a deck with all the rooms attached, and you could see down to the pub below, right? Yeah, mezzanines, exactly. This is going to be nice. It's going to be fun. By the way, if any of you have any questions or feedback on this, please let me know. Steam, if you are interested in participating in the chat, there is a little show chat button below your stream window. You can click that. You can ask questions and join in on the conversation. Let's see here. How you doing, Ricky? Welcome back. Let me show you all another video. Again, work in progress, early alpha. This is a kind of showcasing ceilings, if you will. So if you look at the top here, you see this wood planking, and that's the ceiling above the the room. Obviously, this is kind of a first attempt at this, and it'll get better as we go. You can see a few things here that are being implemented in our next update. So the ceilings, obviously, and then the raised wall above this kind of line will be all kind of new wall when you're putting a ceiling on something that'll help accommodate to raised windows and assets and doors and the like, so it fits better and feels more immersive. There won't be any gaps or breaks. This will also help towards separating ambient, indoor and outdoor ambient lighting. Anyway. Go ahead, Ricky, ask away. Hey, thank you for so many likes over there. Dang, TikTok, y'all are something else. Y'all are special. Thank you. Much appreciated. Hey, TikTok, if you are dropping likes right now, take your hand like this really quick. Take the spare hand that's not dropping likes, right? And then take it and go like this. Pat yourself on the back. And then give me a digital fist bump. Meta fist bump. Everyone can join in on this. It's pretty fun, actually. Why not? Whoop. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Got another teaser open. We'll pick the challenge throughout today's stream at some point, Troutfoot. Thanks, no one. Okay. Sorry about that. My computer was acting a little funky, so I just wanted to check and see what was going on. I thought I had 2 instances of DA open. When I started a map, it has low foliage. Can I get rid of that after I created the map? Which, can you tell me which biome you're in? Hey, Dyro, how you doing? So grasslands, I'll be honest with you. So The grasslands biome is kind of interesting in that a lot of the foliage that's on the ground isn't considered an object. It's considered part of the terrain's texture. So you're not going to be able to remove a lot of the foliage in that biome unless you change the terrain texture to one that doesn't have foliage, which they're kind of limited in that biome. So if you don't like all the little, flowers, like the kind of just rolling random foliage and flowers and whatnot, then I would try using forest instead. Is there a particular thing you're trying to accomplish in that biome? You know what? I never looked at the overlay of your map, Trout, and now I'm happy I did. I love the information here. Oh man, I gotta sneeze. Maybe. I guess not. Wow, we're almost 3,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure that's all you, no one, right? You were just like MVP over here. Enjoying your slow and chill Saturday? That's good, Dyro. So, Ricky, if you kind of give me an idea of what you're trying to make, I can tell you the best biome to pick or how to address it. Like, what would be the best way to go about doing it? Ozzy's Folly, Ghost Town, Prison Playset, Broken Barracks, Chapel Chow, Lava Labyrinth, Rubble Road, Goner's Gate. Interesting. Well, are you trying to build something in particular? Like, is there something you have in mind that you're trying to make? So I gotta just say, Trout, congratulations on your map. You're trying to make a retaining wall, so it doesn't matter which biome you're in, really. You're just trying to get a certain kind of feel, like a green environment. Thanks, Sasquatch. What? I don't think I have enough hair to qualify as a Sasquatch. Oh, you mean this? Here, let me turn myself into a Wookiee. If you change to a different biome, it more than likely will change everything because it's different terrain paints altogether. So here, I'm gonna open this up really quick, Ricky, and we'll take a look, okay? We'll get back to your map in just a minute here, Troutfoot. Sorry, I gotta help as much as I can here. Well, at least I have hair, right? Haha, but So this I got at Disneyland a few years ago, and it's like a Wookiee cap. I got it in the little Star Wars area. But there's like some eyes buried in the fur and the nose. So, I'm assuming you're talking about all this stuff here, right? The rolling foliage. Some brushes have less, but some will always have it no matter what. In this biome in particular, it's very prevalent. It's part of just the grasslands, how they work. So the reason I'm asking, are you stuck? Are you needing to use this biome, this environment for a reason? Oh my gosh, Trout. Well, I'm sorry that wasn't the case. I mean, if you're not really like needing this biome, I would say jump out of it. You could from the map, in the map, all where all the work is done, just open up this tab and switch it to another biome. Switch it to probably like forest. If you just need green, you know what I mean? Forest is probably the way to go, as it won't have as much ground foliage, and that ground foliage more often than not can be removed with the object eraser because it's not part of the terrain paint itself. Does that make sense? Perfect. Well, I hope that'll help you out, my friend. Alrighty, back into the map here. Sorry about that. And Ricky, remember, if you ever need any help, you can always just ping me directly or set up a support thread in our Discord, and we can try and guide you. You know we got your back. So, I am open to discussion for new themes if anyone's open to chatting about it. So the last theme was Ghost Town, right? And the prior theme before that was Hard Work. I always like to pick a theme that's, just 1 to 2 words that is very open-ended to the fact that you can kind of make whatever you want within that theme. I don't like it to be too descriptive or too focused, as I like to give people kind of creativity in how they make their map. Teapot Dome Scandal. See, that's very, very, very specific. Let's see here. What else could we come up with that's not quite as specific? Every hmm. So we have between now and the 1st to submit entries, right? So we also could kind of lean into a possible themed entry for the holiday again. So we did Ghost Town for kind of one setup of kind of themed maps for the fun, October month. We could do one more that's kind of themed around that the creepy season, if you will. Just throwing out a suggestion. So we got a few coming up here. Alchemy Gone Wrong, Clue Mystery, Desolation. Interesting suggestions. Remember, anyone can make a suggestion on this because the more options we have to choose from, the better. While I love the alliteration, I try to avoid from using the spoopy word. Harvest we've done before, actually. Surprisingly, I think actually recently. Hey, Biridin, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Much appreciated. Stratus, I do appreciate that suggestion, though. Dance of the Dead. Interesting. How about... Oh my goodness, hold on, sorry. Got interrupted. What's that? Ooh. Right?
Where's my puppy? Here's the puppy.
Got a little celebrity visit.
Schmeagle, yes.
Hey, puppy. Looking for his mom. Haunted dog kennel. Manta Ray, that's a good one. You know, let me take it back just one step. Haunted would be a really good one. It's broad, it's simple, it's one word. It can be used in a variety of different settings. He's always so chilly after his bath. So, always like warming him up. Who's a good boy?
He's a good boy.
Hey, buddy. We could do Monster Mash. So, the Monster Mash isn't a song about the actual, Sorry, I guess the song Monster Mash isn't the actual song Monster Mash. It's a song describing Monster Mash. It's kind of like, you know, Tribute by Tenacious D. He's been looking for you.
It's cause
Oh. I see. I didn't stand a chance. You're gonna be eating pad thai in the hall. There's no way he's gonna pay attention to what's going on here. How can he focus on anything but pad thai?
right.
Oh my god. Okay, this kid. Puppy. Alright. Ceiling beetles. Chaos, interesting. Ghouls and ghosts. One of the hardest video games of all time. Super ghouls and ghosts. Alright, let's move on to another map really quick. So there was a couple in here from the same person, Hyrule Hero, who is... Make sure I get their name right here. It is Kali Psych, and I don't know if these were meant to be Dam Challenge entries or not. Technically, you're only supposed to enter once. One of their entries seems like it's like a ghost town, and the other one doesn't. I'm a little confused by it because there's not information in it. So I'll probably just open one of the two, and we'll take a look at it. Mainly because I feel bad when, you know, when people enter multiple times. You know, it kind of is confusing for me because I don't know which one to pick, and then B, you know, we're trying to give everyone we can, like, the same amount of time on the screen, and if there's multiple maps from one person, it makes it a little difficult. I'm not trying to call them out or anything. I'm more or less just kind of educating everyone for future reference. If you do end up entering twice because you're feeling inspired, just let me know in your entry which one you want to be your main one, because I know sometimes inspiration strikes and you got a few map ideas. Maybe the first one you made isn't the one you want to be your entry after all. So I'm totally cool with a couple entries being dropped. I just need to know which one is the one you want to be your submission. Haunted? I'm leaning Haunted or Monster Mash. I like how there's just like souls in the water. Kind of like Lord of the Rings style. That's cool. It's a nice little touch. This, however, will haunt my dreams. Oh, wow, Thrash Metal Man. Welcome to the Damn Nation, or the Damn Fam, as we like to say. I appreciate your support, and I'm glad you took advantage of the deal. Getting it at 20% off has gotta be awesome, right? By the way, these streams are run kind of AMA format, which means if you have any questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, feel free to ask, and I'll gladly assist. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist, and I run several streams throughout the week to provide guidance and help showcase, community maps and other things. Oh, by the way, we call it the Damn Nation or the Damn Fam because when you save a map in Dungeon Alchemist, our file format, our proprietary file format is .dam, which stands for Dungeon Alchemist Map. So basically, when you save a map, it's a .dam file. So we just kind of have fun with that. Damnation is a theme. We could potentially do that. But the thing is I don't think I could put it as damnation as one word. It would have to be damn nation. Remember, we gotta do it just right. Technically, it wouldn't be like hellfire and damnation. It would be the damn nation. You know what I mean? If that makes any distinction or difference. Anyway, so this map here, neat little entry. I really like lighting on this. And overall, not a massive map. Just enough space to really give you a good immersive setting. Maybe a good little encounter or two with a battle. Lilandra, you like the idea of Haunted as well? Haunted seems to be a good one, and it's good for the season. I kind of like that idea, too. Haunting or Haunted. Haunted seems more broad than haunting, right? So we'll probably do that. By the way, anyone just tuning in, we're multi-streaming to several different platforms simultaneously. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Steam. So I'm watching and monitoring multiple chats. I'm not talking to myself, I promise. Solstice. Ooh, interesting. So Thrash Metal Man asks, how often do updates usually come out for it? Hot fixes, maybe 1 or 2 a month to kind of fix things as they pop up or we address them. And then major updates are typically every 4 to 8 months, depending on how much time it takes to properly implement the features of those updates. So our next update is titled Fun with Objects, and that will feature more interaction with objects, object functionality, but also multi-level buildings with our procedural generation. So currently, multi-level is done entirely by hand. You can build the first level with procedural generation, and it generates the whole room for you, fills it up. But anything above that first floor, you have to put in yourself by hand. Which, you know, it's kind of like Lego or blocks. You stack things in and meticulously place them. It's actually quite fun and cathartic. I don't mind it myself, but some people don't care for that because it takes a lot of time. The next update will solve that and add multi-level support. Just to give you an example of kind of the things it'll be able to do. I think we're going to go with Haunted for the next dam challenge. Sound good? I'm going to get this on a loop really quick. Up here, and we'll change the dam challenge to Haunted. It's very rare that we get to get 2 dam challenges like within a time frame of like that could be thematic to 1 month. Eon, what do you mean by that? Is there any hint in the next big update? On, like, on a date? On an ETA? Is that what you're asking? Well, right now, I mean, you're seeing a teaser from the next update, which is multi-level and being able to shift between the floors. So there'll be a user interface button on the side, kind of below the camera button on the right corner, that allows you to shift between the floors, and you can also use a hotkey to switch between them. I think it's going to be the plus and minus keys on your keyboard. Here, let me show you a video where you can actually see the up-down arrow. I'm trying to find one. This here is another feature that's rolling out in the next update. Before we dive into it, though, stand by. Turn on this mouse highlighter. So you see over here in the corner, little UI piece with the 0 as an arrow. When you click up, it'll go to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then the down arrow will appear if there's floors below. So if you can go down, it will. You can also, there's, like I said, a hotkey tied to that from my understanding, so you can jump up and down. I'm hoping you'll be able to type in here too, so just type in a floor and jump to that floor instead of having to just, you know, that'd be really annoying. But this will be the first iteration of floors, so it's hard to say. But this preview of this feature is called the Modular Objects tool, which is a new tool tab we're adding under the object panel. Currently, you have the object panel and then the object brush. This will add another tab which allows you to quickly link objects together and build, you know, fleshed out, like, connected object systems. So in this case, you know, connected rails, connected pipes, wall blocks, etc. And these can all be very helpful to that end. Yeah, you can do animated or still maps, and depending on your virtual tabletop, they may or may not support animated maps. So like Foundry and Fantasy Grounds, for instance, support animated maps, and we offer exports for those. Derek Rose asks, how are the multi-level maps going to export out as the JPEGs? There's still a lot that's being developed and, you know, determined on that end, but most likely the simplest solution is going to be the one that we take. And by that, I mean the one that'll address the most VTTs simultaneously. We're not going to work within modules of VTTs. We're going to work within the stock features. So most likely each level will export as its own slice or layer of the map. And will include some sort of mass export feature so you could export every layer at once. So every floor simultaneously. So just so you know, our maps work with both of those, Thrash Metal. Yeah, Manta Ray, there's a way to do all 3 of those. It's pretty much just all by hand. You would use like rocks to cover the ceiling. So when you're in first person, it just looks like it's covered. In a house, you can use one of the many roof objects available on the Steam Workshop. So anyone in the stream, as long as you own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, you can browse the collection of assets that are shared by the community. And if you type in roof, there's like almost 100 different roofing options, prefabs, that can fit on a variety of different shapes. This particular roof was one that my wife made, Mrs. Mac, and I uploaded it, and it's part of a build that's like a four floor wizard tower with an observatory at the top. So it's possible to add roofing. There's a couple options included with DA that are stock that also kind of work, including 2 object roofs that are like stock ones. This little shingled roof here and this shingled spire roof. People have also used this lich gate and shed and other things to act like a house or a roof. And then we have a few objects built into DA that actually are just prefab homes with a roof on them, like this tree house, some huts, some tents, etc. So there are a few objects that work around that, and then a few ways to add your own. Between stuff on the workshop and things that are stock, usually you can find a solution or an amalgam of the two that works pretty well. There's these like these platforms and that are metal, wood, stone. They all work great for second floors. People will take one of these, for instance, and disable collisions and then raise it up, and you can essentially just snap these into place, right? And duplicate them each time. And then right now I just have like a raised platform that could be like a bridge or another floor if I raised it above this, for instance. So it's quite possible to do these things. It just takes a little bit of like elbow grease. You just got to put some time into it. Eon, can you elaborate on that question? Sorry, I want to make sure I answer it correctly, and I'm not 100% certain what you mean there. So, let me show you in a cave really quickly, Manta Ray, because that was kind of one you brought up there. So, our dev team is only 10 people, and that includes myself and a couple of admin staff, like an accountant, admin, and then we have 4 devs and like a handful of artists. So it's like 10, 11 people total. There. So I'm going to open up a map I made that is a mine, and I'll show you how I would put like a ceiling on this if I needed it. Honestly, in first person in caves, you have the immersive gray top, which is pretty good at like kind of just acting as if it's like an immersive, cave ceiling. But I understand it'd be nice to have like rock top. But that means you're going to have to make 2 versions of your map. So you'll have the map you made that is your export for top-down interface in like your virtual tabletop or a print, right? Or your TV tabletop. And then you'd take and make a second version of the map. You'd file save as and start like a branch of this. And in that branch, you would take something like these rocks, for instance. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different rock faces that kind of blend in with this environment, right? I'm trying to decide which one would be the best. You could take something like this. The problem is there is a ceiling in caves, and I'm kind of at the roof of it. And then you take this. On here. I'm just going to raise it up manually so it's not running into anything. Once you've kind of broken it free of that thing and raised it up on its own, then it won't block it anymore. It's no longer restricted by the colliders of other objects. Now from the top, this will look weird. It's really only for first person immersion, but just to give you an idea. So you could cover this whole area with like rock faces like this and then walk under it. You know what I mean? And then you'd have like a first person video. You definitely would have to play around with it and get it at the right height. This one's probably not the best rock, if I'm being honest, because it's so big. There's flat. This one here. Put it like right there. Raise it up. Make it broad. Something like that. This isn't perfect. It's just a quick kind of solution. Yeah, that one's not even high enough. But you get the idea of what I'm going for here. You'll have to play around with it to get it just right. There are some stones that are more flat, too, up at the top that are like these kind of stone cave rock pieces. These probably even work better. Because the flatter it is, that means less like guesswork in how you're going to align it. But you could put a few of these, no, I fell in the pit, and it would be like a cover. Now, that's kind of a Band-Aid solution for right now, but I'll be honest with you, like, I have never heard a player complain that there isn't a roof in the cave. Like, not once. We black out the cave ceiling, so there's no sky or anything visible, and no light leaks in except for at cave entrances. Realistically, most of your players are, they're using their imagination to imagine they can fly and teleport and turn invisible. I think they'll suspend their disbelief if there's not a cave ceiling. Hope that helps, though, Manta Ray. Oh, you've used this, John? Yeah, this is my map. I made 2 versions of this map. I very much love mines and caves and tunnels. It's my favorite kind of biome in DA. I'm glad you used it. That makes me happy. Crawl space, height. That's a good question, Eon. I don't think the height is versatile, but the floors above, if you wanted to have like a vaulted ceiling, you could cut out the floors so it makes it taller. So technically you could go up a bit. I don't know if you could make it shorter, like it's a halfling house or a hot, like meant for a crawl space or a goblin. That is a very good question, and unfortunately I don't have the answer for it other than height, because I do know you can accommodate for that, as you can see in some of these images, like the video we shared earlier where you could cut out the floors and vault it. Hey Flash, welcome, appreciate you. And welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. So what I would do in this instance, you notice how the floor is getting cut out here, right? You could cut it out all the way around, and then it would be more of a vaulted upward space, so you could do like a cathedral ceiling. So I know upward you can do that, but I don't know about cutting that space downward. I'm sorry, I wish I had a better answer there, Eon. But I do appreciate your question. Yeah, I mean, that is a good question. I think it might be tricky because you can raise buildings up and down and have different heights, right? So how will that work with an export when you have one home that's like raised up to a midpoint between two? I'm not sure how that's all going to work, and it's something that's way above my pay grade, and I haven't even seen how it functions yet. So unfortunately, I can't speak to it 100%. I'm sure that Carl, though, and Wim are working diligently on solutions for that. As, it's kind of a tricky thing to address adequately. Well, that's awesome, Eon. I appreciate your continued support. What is your favorite tool in Dungeon Alchemist? This next one here. Let's go back to maps again from the Dam Challenge. One's from Highland Lass. is called Clearance Village. And as you can see, it is now a ghost town. Pretty much all that remains here are the foundations of a few homes and one left. That's it. One home. All that's left. Bryn Stoll, thank you for that like, by the way. Sorry I missed that earlier. Island Lass always makes really interesting maps that typically are based on real-world settings. Let's see this. A reimagining of an earlier map based on Island Clearance Village. Map extended to include an intact but abandoned cottage and another ruin. It is not known why the village of Grumore was abandoned. People say it was the laird who cleared the villagers out some 200 years ago so he could graze his sheep. A much more profitable enterprise. However, there appears to be something more sinister about this place. On the high moor above Strathnavar, an ancestor of one of the families who live there is on the lookout for some adventurers to try and solve the mystery. What she doesn't tell them is others have tried before. Some came back frightened out of their wits, and others just didn't come back. Interesting. That's very cool. I like that little hook. My favorite tool is the quick AI ability. I'm an improv DM, so I can make a map on the fly. Oh, right. So that's really cool. So you essentially just make maps as you go. You don't really do much prep in the map department. That's interesting. That is like mad respect for that. Stratus, I saw your question. I've been thinking of how to address it. Give me just 1 second here. I do think you have to re-upload it. I'm going to look, though. So for maps, you can update your published map, but for assets, I don't think there is a way to update your published asset or re-upload a new one. So you pretty much would have to go to the Publish tab, unpublish it, and then publish a new one. It's a good idea not to publish an asset until it's final, until you like are really, really confident with it, because, you know, in the instance maybe someone used it in one of their maps and shared that map, then the asset becomes orphaned and no longer can be used. And when people go to download the map, they can't find it. So it'll be missing from that. I actually made a mistake of one of my Palisade walls. I accidentally uploaded it and had to re-upload it. And so when I was testing the uploading thing, or how to unpublish an asset, and essentially all you can do really at this point is update the information on it. You can't change the 3D model as far as I'm aware, which is a bummer. Hold on, let me try something really quick. Well, I just overrode the barricade with that, so maybe if I just saved it, it would update it. It just seems like it would just change it. You know what I mean? Since I'm not publishing it, it won't do that. Oh, nice, Stratus. That's really cool. Honestly, I don't know if that actually worked, to be honest with you. It could or could not. Try it and let me know. But select the asset you want to replace from your list, right? So let's say you want to replace your bamboo spikes, right? Or a freestanding wooden door. Then it says, once you've selected it, it says import asset, right? The problem is, I don't think it'll go through and override it when you do that. Because, it's a new one. It's considered a new one. That isn't going to work. Never mind. Don't do that. That won't fix the problem. Just resolved it. So there is no way to update it, sort of deleting it and replacing it at this time. I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, really? So, that's really cool, Eon. That's smart. So for the most part, it's an improv campaign. That's really cool. Sounds fun. Dark Horse, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the damnation. Let's take a look at this intact house. See what it looks like inside. Let me in! See if we can squeeze in. There we go. Whoa. This doesn't look safe. This is a great example of using an object roof over a, a DA structure to just kind of get the look you want. Manta Ray, I don't know if you see this. This is another kind of example of what I was showing you earlier. You basically just put an object over the top of an existing room or a cave to make it solid. Hey, Stratus, I wish I had a better answer for you. I'm sorry. You taking off? Nice. Hey, see you later, Stratus. So, yeah, is it Zytolite? Zitylite? I like running my campaigns in DA, but without exporting them so I can edit the map while players are playing. Is there plans for making fog that is completely black so I can block out players' vision while playing? I will say, as you're using DA outside of the recommended use, it will be a little bit difficult to kind of accomplish what you want. But I'm not going to stop you or try and prevent you, and I'll definitely make some suggestions and things to that end. Until we leave early access, though, there really isn't any plans to add any, like, VTT Lite features, because we have a whole lot of promises from our Kickstarter we need to address first, before we incorporate, like, feature creep or things that weren't on the roadmap. The devs have said they want to address stuff like that at some point. To what scale and scope and when, though, remains to be seen. There are, there's like the black smoke, which is actually quite dark and kind of works as like an improv fog of war. Can't even see the character in there. There it is. But it is really heavy on your processor to do this. I will not lie. I will not mince words. Particle effects such as these take a tremendous amount of processing power to maintain effectively without your computer lagging, especially over a whole map. Now, there are other solutions that people have come up with in our community. One of the most brilliant and simple, and usually simple is the way to go, is using these abstract panels. These are essentially customizable panes that you can stretch out over an entire map at a certain height. And then you can insert a custom image, or you can change the color on a whim. So they offer like a variety of different color options. But you could always just insert a flat black, like a static black image. And that acts as kind of a basic fog of war. There's several different shapes that lay on the ground, but mostly this one, covers the most. So that might be one way to do it. Pretty much every update we release, Eon has updates to the logic for our procedural AI. And I do want to bring up when I say AI, just so everyone's aware that if you're not aware, our AI is like last-gen AI. It's definitely nothing like, ChatGPT or Midjourney. Those use what's called generative AI. Ours is procedural. So it's more like random number generation than it is like actual intelligent AI. Now, in that regard, we program the AI entirely in-house with our talented team of devs, and all the art used in Dungeon Alchemist, all the assets that are used in our AI are all made entirely in-house. At no point where there's any public data, maps, assets, art, or any information like that scraped from the web to train our AI. So we feel our AI is a very ethical use, ethically developed and made, and also a very ethical use of AI to make maps to save you time for your campaign prep, just to have more fun. Definitely a good use of AI. Now, now that I'm done tooting my own horn there, moving on from AI, we pretty much update and improve the AI with every update. Essentially making it refined, sped up, and more logical. And I think with each update, as we add more features and functionality, that logic improves. With time, the AI will get more refined and have more options to it. And the more objects we add, the more room types, the more asset functionality and tools, the more we can tell the AI to do. That makes sense? Hey, are you playing in person, Zidalite? Are you playing online? I'd like to hear more about your situation. Greetings, James. How you doing? That's cool, James. That's a great idea. That works great, actually. So James did a bone map where I took a screenshot of the bone planes to paste into the abstract square. So you would just cover it with more bones so it just looked the same. Smart. I'm sure. We always have people coming up with clever workarounds to stuff. This map is beautiful. Well done, map from Highland Lass. This here is crazy because this is just tons of stones all placed in. Look at that. She just put in all these stone piles. There's like hundreds of them there to make this collapsed, wall. Talk about dedication. Eon, I hope that answers your question there. One thing I'm really hoping for is transparent backgrounds for exports, like a transparent biome or just a transparent background altogether. So maybe when you do the floors above the first floor, they're all transparent, like everything around the outside. So essentially it could be paired with the bottom floor as, say, a foreground background layering, or essentially everything outside of that room doesn't really matter to that degree. I would like to see an abstract circle that I can attach to a token so it moves with the token. Interesting. I mean, can't you just put a token on top of the abstract? Enter's disk, yo. Technically, items attach when they're atop of each other. But I do think item linking is something that we're working on for the next update, and I've seen some previews of it. To what extent it'll be incorporated, I don't know. Oh. Alrighty. Let's move on to the next map. Sky biome. At some point we have an update titled High Seas, which will likely address, ships and the like. We're gonna be making a kind of an app within DA called the Shipyard, where you'll be able to build ships and, you know, import them into DA and share them on the workshop. But those ships, I'm assuming, will also kind of breach into like airships and arcane ships and astral ships, things like that. So you have more choices. But I would assume that some of the biomes we'd consider are things like that, you know? Like a sky type situation, or maybe a, you know, an astral plane or whatever. Not just a shore or an island. I will say this, though, it's quite possible, John, to do that. There's a few maps on the workshop that have done kind of like clouds. Like this is a ship with an abstract cloud background, so it looks like an airship. There is a... I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to remember. This one. This Sky Island Alchemist shop. This one here has like a big floating kind of background superimposed with some clouds on it, and then they made little islands below and put tiny houses and airships in the background. This is just one of a few examples of maps that kind of use a combination of abstract, you know, planes to put in custom images, mixed with forced perspective of like smaller objects to trick your brain into thinking there's something far away and distant, but it is large. On the opposite side of the abstract is the same image. If you go underneath it, it's essentially the same thing, Manta Ray. So if you just put the image in inverted, like in, you know, invert it before you put it in, it's the same thing. But I'm almost 100% positive both sides of the abstract are viewable. Also, if anyone's interested in like sky and sky boxes, there's a few of them on the workshop that work pretty well. They're like a dome that you can wrap around your entire map. I don't have anything sky in here. Let me just put in like this weird map, and then we'll go underneath it and see what it looks like on the underside. Okay? Yeah, you could stretch it across and have a sky, the whole thing. So both sides work. You could do that as stained glass or whatever. Sistine Chapel paintings, etc. It depends on which plane you're using. And remember, when you're using abstracts, if you put a PNG in it, for instance, any of the negative space, like blank space in a PNG, would be like transparent and see-through. So you could use that to your advantage to have like areas where it's broken or missing, like an opening. But until, you know, until then, there are, like, I would say, using the tools available, you can kind of game the system and do, you know, maps and biomes that weren't really intended in the current builds, just simply because of the, like, the workshop assets or some of the tools that really empower you to do more, such as abstracts. Let's see, Skybox, if you search here, these are crazy. I think one of the maps actually has this one on it, so we'll look at that one next. But you could put these around and it'll be like clouds, lightning, just nice cloudy day, but it's a dome you put around your map. And if you want to do this, I would have the main map that's like the top-down normal version, and then do a file save as, so you have a splintered save that is the skybox, so you can do first-person walkthroughs where you can look up and see the beautiful sky. Just to give you an example, I'll put this one on there. For for those that just want to, give their players a little bit more immersion. This is probably a bad skybox for this one, but you get the idea. All right. So, looking at this map here. Yeah, I mean, the workshop is essentially, if you use the workshop to your advantage or the asset importer, it's essentially unleashing Dungeon Alchemist. The asset importer, if you have any ability to sculpt 3D models or you know where to find them online, like you can source them, you can incorporate those into your maps, which if you can make 3D models, you can do all sorts of things. Custom effects, lighting, animations, things like that. I mean, just to give a few examples here, in this map, I'm just a little warning for those that might be arachnophobic. There is a spider on this map, so if you just kind of like close your eyes for a moment. But this is an animated spider over here. So, like, this is an imported asset on the workshop. That's the kind of stuff you can do with the workshop. Here's another imported asset, this like weird hovering undead token. So, unfortunately, Mike, Roll20 is kind of limited in a few aspects. Roll20 is a great platform. It's really easy to use, but Roll20, for instance, doesn't allow you to access any of their scripts unless you're a paid member. So that means you must be a paid member to use the benefit of like our line of sight for walls, windows, doors, lighting. I'm sure you're aware of that. But they also have kind of, let's just say, a little bit outdated file size limits for their, and because they're web-based entirely, it makes sense. You don't host the server locally or from a third party, so they do need to limit how much data is being used. But because of this, animated maps are essentially a non-starter. You just can't do them because the file size limits are too small. We have spoken to them about this a little bit and said we would like to work with them more and hope they would increase their file size limits over time. Don't know if that'll happen. Unfortunately, Dungeon Alchemist, we don't really have plans to integrate Dungeon Alchemist with third-party plugins or modules or anything like that, because a lot of those, they lose support overnight, whether the developer, it's one developer working on it, gets burnt out, loses interest, stops working on it for any number of reasons, or it loses support because the main site, such as Roll20, Foundry, or any others, don't allow integration with it anymore. So we unfortunately that we don't really focus our development as an indie team towards third-party integrations for VTTs. So if that was a stock feature, if Roll20 had animated maps that's a stock feature and increased their file size limits, we could definitely work with that. Creation of sprites. Pixar modeling. Asmodeus, is that you? Can you elaborate on what you mean by the creation of sprites? Honestly, Mike, you did nothing wrong. Roll20 just needs to, and this is nothing against them. It's just every company can run their business model the way they want, and I understand why they're doing it as an online platform. They just need to increase the file size limits and support animated maps stock, and like every VTT out there for the most part does it nowadays. A few years ago when they started, it made sense. It was not a really standard thing. There wasn't many map options that were animated. But now it's becoming much more standard and commonplace. Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Above VTT, Owlbear, all of these support animated maps. Snow, rain, dust, fire, gotcha. So you would want... essentially... effects that are more attuned to like weather options. I will say this, yeah, I mean, the asset importer allows you to import like custom sprites already. For instance, there's rain, there's thunder, there's all sorts of stuff. But a lot of times we encourage our creator community to use the weather tools within the virtual tabletops that are available to them because they're usually a little bit better suited to that end. Like I think it's called FX Master or something like that on Foundry is really good. Has tons of weather and like different animations for like animals and stuff like that. Like here, I just added rain to this from an asset from the workshop. So is Jump Gate a stock portion of Roll20, or is it a third-party thing? That's the big thing. Because if it's a third-party plugin or like a browser, you know, extension or something, then unfortunately we won't be likely developing support for it because we have limited resources and manpower. It's stock? Huh. I gotta look into that. Okay, well, when did they release this? Is there like a news info on this, like a press release on this information, or maybe like a wiki entry showing all the updated information? Because I'll take a look at it and see what they offer and petition the devs. But typically, you know, if like we're always like one step behind the virtual tabletops when they update, so it takes us time to develop, you know, the feature that works with their system and it fits within their file constraints and all that. So, for instance, Fantasy Grounds, they rolled out animated map support, and we didn't know about it until the day they rolled it out, so we were playing catch-up, and we had to wait like 3-4 months before we could roll out an animated map export option for them. Island, we looked at your map actually just a bit ago. It was lovely. There's a nice little remake on it. Pixar, I feel like I'm not really answering your question correctly, and I am so sorry. I apologize, and I'm just trying to make sure I understand you fully. So essentially, I don't think we'll ever be able to create those things in DA. More than likely, we'll have pre-created them for you, whether they're pre-created effects, you know, or tools that cast those types of things, weather, etc. Like in our terrain thing, we'll probably add more weather options to it with time. Those things, though, if you want to have more control over that, I would say the asset importer is the way to go. Alandra, it blocked out that link. Are you in our Discord by chance? I'm pretty sure you are, right? You had a map in this week, right? Could you DM me that link? So when did they roll this out? Just recently? So these, like these floating lights and stuff like that, is that you're talking about? So these effects, we prefab these, and they're pre-made by our VFX artist, Kenny. And so I'm not 100% certain how these are made, and if we'll allow you to make your own, I doubt it. Likely we'll prefab and integrate them like this. But the way around it is by using the asset importer to create a 3D object that acts like an animated effect or a sprite. I don't know if, you know, in your mind, if those two are similar or could work the same, or if I'm completely off here. But to me, they do seem to like they could work similarly and kind of address the same problem. But this is more custom in that you can import pretty much anything you want. Just to give you an example here, So when you talk about, like animated sprites, we showed the skybox earlier. Someone actually put together it's Michelle put together a lightning skybox. Jeez, seems to be playing rather rapid. No, I lost it. Oh no, there's no collider on it. Let's press play on it and we'll get inside and see what it looks like. Because that is tripping me out. Oh wow, that actually looks pretty good. No, you're fine. I want to make sure I answer your question correctly. Actually fits with that map rather well. From the outside, it is a little bit of a headache, I'm not going to lie. A little bit seizure inducing, so I'm going to stop that. But from the inside, it looks really good. Great. Pull up another map here. So if it's in beta, we may have to wait till it's a final release before we implement, features for it. But that's good that they're pushing towards that end. Because I remember they were polling their community some months ago, and a few people asked, hey, can you increase file sizes, support animated maps? And they responded positively by saying they'll take it under consideration and look into what it would take. So looks like they took it seriously, or we're already in the process of implementing it, so that's good. Lilandra, you did a great job on this map, by the way. Definitely one of my favorites from the Ghost Town Challenge. I don't know if you know this, but the necrotic fog actually has like little skulls in it. If you look at it, little floating skulls that get big and then just kind of dissipate. Pixar Modeling, thank you for the follow, and Papa Dog, thank you for the follow about 15 minutes back. Sorry I missed that. The thing is, Atlam, it's not like we give that core Unity feature to Dungeon Alchemist, so I don't know if that's something we would allow ever. You know what I mean? That's more of a Unity-based development feature than it is a Dungeon Alchemist feature. Currently, the only way I could foresee importing animated anything would be through the asset importer. What I would recommend for Pixar Modeling, can you give him the link or drop the wiki for him? Just use the command wiki. If you go to our wiki, there is a whole section about the asset importer, which actually shows you, how you can use various tools like Blender, for instance, to create assets to then bring into Dungeon Alchemist. We support STL, FBX, and GLTF/GLB. So as long as you're familiar with those formats, or a tool that can function with that, then you could probably make all sorts of stuff. What is a good setting? Because my map is usually too light. Huh. Eon, let's see. I mean, First and foremost, you want to make sure in your light settings that your light is turned down, right? If it's too bright. You can always turn down the brightness and make it dimmer. Even if it's like bright in the time of day, you can definitely make it dimmer. So you have this light panel, which can help tremendously. And then lastly, by light, do you mean the actual light sources or the image is just too bright, Eon? But if you just, in our wiki, look for asset importer, there's a whole section dedicated to that tool and, like, kind of how it can be used. I wish I had more information for you, Pixar. Your name's got me smiling because one of our moderators works for Pixar, so I'm like, I almost thought you were him for a minute. Just under an alt account. Gotcha. Well, thank you for the support. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not as smart on, like, development stuff and the art aspects as I'm just, you know, the community manager. I'm more, you know, good at just talking without knowing what I'm talking about. I'm sorry if I didn't necessarily address what you were looking for 100% there. I really like how there's just like overgrowth in every single home. And it's a really great use of like the wicker. Not too many people have used these as it's a newer like room type that was only added in the magic biome, like with the magic update. Thrash metal, currently no, and not unless you use like a workaround. Our next update will address that. It'll have separate ambient indoor and outdoor lighting, so expect a permanent fix to that Q1 2025. But for now, there's two ways to address it. One is essentially, you know, well, there's several ways. You can just cover the structure with like a roof, so it just blocks everything out. You can download one of the invisible roofing options. There's these here that are like, nope, sorry. These roof covers. These are like a clear, invisible roof that blocks lighting from the exterior. This was provided by Dallas RT, one of our moderators. And it will... Essentially, it's like an invisible cover that blocks out the sun. Now, that being said, I personally, in the 2.5 years I've worked for Dungeon Alchemists, the hundreds of streams, the several tables I've played at as a player long term and DM'd, and all the DMs I talk to on streams and support, I really have never once heard of a player complain about that. I'll tell you this right now, Thrash Metal. As DMs, we have a curse and a blessing to be detail oriented. I think that's part of the reason we're DMs, right? We notice all the little details and minutia. We love absorbing lore and creating like this whole world and weaving this story and world together for our players and the whole production value of it. So when something like the exterior light is leaking over the walls and making a shadow, it drives us insane, right? It tricks something in our brain that we cannot turn off. But I will tell you this, not once have I heard a player complain about it. So more often than not, it's something that is almost exclusively a DM thought and worry. Your players are more often than not kicking butt and taking names. They're not noticing that little detail of stuff like that, or they're exploring, or you know what I mean. I will, and I don't say that as an excuse. I just want you to just kind of let you know it's not something that your players will worry about, so maybe don't stress over it so much, you know. But at the end of the day, there are workarounds for it using some objects that you can find on the Steam Workshop or by just covering the house altogether with a roof. The other workaround directly within DA is what I call high noon mode. So when you are at 12 o'clock in the light panel, the shadows no longer happen because the sun is directly above everything. The downside of this is every object inside becomes incredibly bright, including metal objects. So like if you have something with any metal on it, it becomes like a beacon to Gondor. And it's blinding. And that is a whole immersion detail in itself that ruins it. So I kind of put it up close, but at the end of the day, I've just kind of tuned that out until we address it. That is just one of the weird quirks of us being in early access and not necessarily a fully finished, fledged out product. But every update we release, we batten down the hatches, make it less buggy, and get rid of those weird quirks and bugs that are obviously things that need to be addressed before we get to a final product. It is haunted. I already put it up. Atlam. So I don't know if you missed it earlier. We did decide on haunted, and I already updated it. So yes, it is the theme. Sorry. Appreciate you bringing it up, though, bud, but it is in the marquee right now. Hey, okay, I'm noticing we have 30 viewers on Steam right now, but there's no one chatting. And I don't mean to call y'all out, but I will say this. The first person in any of my streams that goes to Steam, non-moderator, of course, and says something in chat, they will get a free copy of Dungeon Alchemist. If you already own it, you can give it to a friend. If you don't own it, then you'll get a free copy. So the first person to open up chat in Steam and say something will win a free copy. This is available to anyone watching right now. In Steam chat, Lord Luck. You got to go over to our Steam stream and say something. No one said anything over there, so I mean, you have a good chance. Okay, finally, we had someone say something. Hello, Steam, you're there. You are first, Sagen. Sagen, I'm gonna send you a friend request real quick. Once you get that, if you could accept that, and then I'll DM you a key here in a minute. Sound good? Okay, so Mike Batley says, I haven't published many maps yet. Is there a problem with copyright stuff that might be an abstract background or pictures? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like if you're putting copyrighted materials in your maps? I mean, I would advise against using copyrighted materials or importing, 3D models that you don't own the rights to. There are like there's art out there and assets that are what's called Creative Commons or that is out of copyright too. So there are things that you can use, that are completely copyright free and wouldn't be a problem. If you're publishing on the workshop, definitely kind of be careful about what you share there. That's all I can say. Steam has an agreement that you have to fill out and agree to before you share anything there. And so if you're sharing copyrighted material, they can come after you if someone, gives them a cease and desist or a copyright strike or something. Aussie Hero, this is the first time you've watched via YouTube. Nice. Accepted. Nice, Sagen. Give me just 1 second. There you are. Sending you a message now. Can you just confirm you got that first message real quick while I generate you a key? I'll be honest, I've been giving out keys on Steam throughout the week because we are celebrating our nomination to the Belgian Game Awards, which we're currently, listed under the Belgian Game Awards page on Steam, and we're on sale as a result of which we were nominated, but we did not win, sadly. But you know what? I'm still hyped, and it was just an amazing honor to be nominated alongside some of these like fantastically stunning companies. Like Larian was nominated for a few of the Belgian Game Awards things. It's like, how do you compete against Baldur's Gate 3? Tell me. Like, obviously, they weren't nominated in the same category as us, but it's just like, it's phenomenally, it's just an honor to be like at the same award show with them. Know what I mean? Now, if you're using your own, if you're making Dungeon Alchemist maps and you're reselling them, that's totally fine. Article 4.1 of our terms and conditions outlines that you don't really need to worry about getting a special license or anything until you have made $100,000 annually with your maps and product related to Dungeon Alchemist. So you can use Dungeon Alchemist. Our license is very open to using it to creating maps, modules, books, campaign settings, etc. You can use Dungeon Alchemist for that end, but I would definitely be careful about using copyrightable images or 3D models in your maps if you're sharing them on the workshop or putting them in something like that. Wow, we just had a whole bunch of Facebook messages come through all at once, like 50. John, I'm sorry if I didn't see those before. That is so weird. So Sagen on Steam got the key. Aussie. My sale of the sales what finally broke us. Honestly, or broke you, Pixar. Honestly, just welcome to the community. Welcome to the Damn Fam. I'm so excited you decided to pull the trigger and join us. Okay, Lalandra, you wanted me to read this? Give me 1 second. We'll take a look. Okay. If your map, let's say you made a map and you sold it so many times you made 100K, or maybe you have like a Patreon and you use Dungeon Alchemist and you make 100K a year, or maybe you made a Kickstarter for a campaign setting you're putting together. You're like the next Critical Role, and you use Dungeon Alchemist for the maps in the campaign book, and that Kickstarter brings in $1 million or something like that. Whatever. You would need to get a commercial license for DA. Under Article 4.1 of our terms and conditions, which is on our website, the terms of service, or in the TOS you agreed to when you purchased DA, there is basically information outlining who you need to contact to get a commercial license. And it's case by case, honestly. We've only had to issue like a couple of them of people interested in them because they felt like they would hit that degree. I don't know of the details of that, though. It's above my pay grade. So if you're interested, definitely check Article 4.1 of our TOS. There's an email contact in there. You can reach out to them. Trout. Okay, let's pull up the description on this map so we know more about it. They say the witches haunt their village where they were burned. Few have tried to go there, and even fewer have returned since that terrible day. Do you have the courage to brave the witches' village? Can you find all the hidden secrets? Just remember that no one will look for you if you never come out. Oof. Scary. So Eon, if the map is still coming out too bright after, you've adjusted the brightness in the lights, you may want to just run your map through like a photo editor and like dim it out a little bit through there. You could always just put it in like a free photo editor and make it a little bit more dim, or put a filter over it to make it less bright. So, does this support animated maps or map effects to make the map animated? Because I'm not seeing Jumpgate saying anything about animated maps. Sorry, I'm looking at this thing you sent me, Lilandra, and I'm trying to figure out if Jumpgate adds support for animated maps, which is the big thing I'm looking for here. Animation experience. That's just effects, right? I'll have to look into this later. I'll read about it after the stream, and if there's information, I'll let the devs know. Hey, see you later, Mike. Appreciate you being here. So, weather animations and animated maps are two different things, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a good step towards that. So, Aussie Hero, if you look in the stream here, on the Steam stream, which is where I did the giveaway, Sagen said, "Hi, am I first?" And they won. You can see it clear as day here in the chat feed on Steam. Is that you, Dyro? This is a lovely map, Lilandra. Thank you for putting the time and effort into it. Really appreciate it. How long would you say it took you to make this? I really love just all the dead trees and the fact that you put the skybox over it. So you can get in first person and it just feels so immersed. 4 hours? Not bad. Really not bad at all. What was your favorite part of the map? For those of you just tuning in, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility that allows you to build beautiful fantasy-based maps for your tabletop RPG games for D&D, Pathfinder, and the like. We are showcasing maps from our ongoing map-making contest called the Dam Challenge. Our last theme was Ghost Town. So we're sharing entries from the Ghost Town Dam Challenge. And we've already picked our next theme, which is Haunted. So if any of you are interested in participating in a future map-making contest, you have between now and the 1st of October to submit a map using Haunted as inspiration. You can make the map any shape or size. You just submit it to the Discord channel, the Dam Challenge channel, and there's rules pinned at the top for how to proceed with posting and sharing your map to properly qualify. If you qualify and your map is selected as the winner, you win a $10 Hero Forge gift card. It's a little prize. And your map is the first map featured on the Damn Challenge stream. We try to feature every entry in the Damn Challenge stream if we have time, but the winner is the one that gets the most face time. The portal building, let's take a look. Is this the portal building? Okay. Let's take a closer look here. Wow, it's kind of like each of these are like different dimensions. Cool. Very cool. I like this a lot. Good use of the this particular room type. Oh, extra dimensional rooms. Oops. Excuse me. Bat vision, yeah. Detective vision, right? Arkham vision or whatever it is. Swear, that's basically what it looks like. The skybox on this is a great touch. Really looks good, Lilandra. Really brings it home. Beautiful map. No, I agree, Atlam. It definitely looks like that. So, if any of you have played, like, Arkham, Batman Arkham Asylum, or any of those games, there's, like, 3 games in that series, you can go into detective vision, and it, like, turns the like, you see the room, and it turns it into, like, the floor plan for it. You could see kind of, like, the spine or the framework of it, and see through things to a certain distance, because you have, like, X-ray vision. So it really looks a lot like that. Another thing that this biome is great for, obviously like a wizard's pocket dimension or maybe a portable hole or something like that. Maybe even a magnificent mansion or something to that, akin to that. It also can be used to be like a floor plan or like a blueprint. If the entire floor plan is made of that, or if you make a main like map and then you convert all to do a save as, splinter it off, and make all the walls into this, they kind of look like a blueprint from above, and that's great if they like maybe acquired it for a heist, maybe they bribed someone or stole the blueprint from somewhere. Yeah, exactly. It works for all of those things, kind of unexpectedly. Tron, yes, it does as well. Great little Tron layout. Dum 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 dum. Okay, I don't mean to call anyone out in chat, in any of our chats, but I'm curious, raise of hands. You just can put like a thumbs up emoji or a little hand up emoji, or an up arrow. If you got Dungeon Alchemist this last week, if you're new to our community, just raise of hands. I'd love to see how many new users we have in the crowd right now. Like a cyberpunk bar for sure, or like the bar in Tron. Tron Legacy or whatever. Core Hall? Hey, welcome back, by the way. I love how Zentik has just channeled this, like, amazing, like, I don't know, he's just really tapped into the sci-fi core that you can build with Dungeon Alchemist, and I'm all for it. These are so cool. Like, it just uses the traditional environmental biome, but, I mean, environments are pretty universal in space, for the most part, right? And so, this is cool. I like it. So Pixar Modeling Core Hall. I just gotta say, welcome, to the Dam Fam, as we call it, or the Dam Nation, one or the other. In fact, I'll let you choose. Would you rather be part of the Dam Fam or the Dam Nation? What I really love on these maps is changing the light filters, because this just makes it feel even more alien. Looks like they've tapped into... They found the monolith over here. Ancient alien technology. Damnation. So... Honestly, I just love that we're getting lots of new faces right now. The sales always bring in, new people interested in learning and checking it out. I will let you know the streams. We host normally a couple a week, 3 streams a week, actually. One is Discord exclusive. That's every Wednesday. So if you're a member of our Discord, or if you're interested in checking out those streams, they're called Office Hours. They're kind of a laid-back stream, but they're strictly like support, guidance, and talking about upcoming, information with Dungeon Alchemist. During that stream, I take notes on feedback and suggestions and pass it on to the devs. It's a great place to be if you, want to just hang out and get to know other like-minded map makers, but also maybe learn and get guidance and support in real time. This stream, which we host every other week on a Saturday, is called the Dam Challenge. It's a bi-weekly map-making contest where anyone in our community can participate. I encourage you all to participate because there's a chance to win a $10 Hero Forge gift card if your map is the winner. And of course, you get to flex your map maker muscle against our community and kind of just be a little bit immortalized as a clever cartographer. But it's fun, it's just enjoyable, and it's a good way to put yourself to the test and learn new things. So every other Saturday is the Dam stream, where we showcase maps and assets that we find on the Steam Workshop, check them out and see how they were built. But we also provide support during those streams. They're all AMA format. The Dam Challenge is a little bit harder to do, but given there weren't a lot of entries, I found time to answer a lot of questions this stream. The Monday streams are called Map Maker Monday. During that stream, I build a map live, so you can watch some, ask questions and give suggestions towards the build. We're currently building a massive ancient cemetery. It's like 90 by 90. So essentially, you have several streams throughout the week that you can tune into to learn, ask questions, and get to know other members of our community. Lately, I've been doing some bonus streams because we're on sale, so I've done like 3 extra streams this week to kind of just be around to answer questions and just be like a living billboard. Like, I guess I'm like an infomercial, huh? Anyway, I'm really excited to, provide assistance and guidance to new members of our community, because it's always fun watching someone make their first map and then their second and third, and before you know it, they're just a pro. Anyway, shoot, what time is it? Oh man, we only got 5 minutes left till the end of the stream. So if any of you have last minute questions, suggestions, feedback, support inquiries, please let me know before we move on and wrap up the stream. I don't think there's any more maps, is there? Let's just double check. I might have missed one. Nope, this was the last one. So this particular person entered twice, and I think this one was the one they meant to go for. This one, on the other hand, I don't know if it's tied to it or if they meant to put this in another channel. Either way, I showed off one of their 2 entries, so we're good. I hope you all had fun during today's stream. I enjoyed it a lot. It's always enjoyable to showcase the entries from the Dam Challenge and pick a new theme. Speaking of which, our next theme is Haunted. So if you're interested in participating, create a map of any shape or size using Haunted as inspiration. You submit that map to the Dam Challenge channel in our Discord. Make sure you follow the rules pinned at the top. You just click on the pins and you can see, the rules. And as long as you follow those, your entry is a considered entry for the challenge. If you win, you get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. Your map is the first map featured, and you're featured in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles. Good way to get a lot of eyes and FaceTime with your map. Anyway, this map here, I just have to hand it to Zentik. Really, really getting crafty and interesting builds from their, they're kind of just leaning into the sci-fi aesthetic here. All of these 3D models, they're sourced from the workshop. But if you download, a couple of Zentik's maps, it'll automatically prompt you to download these models. So you have them in, the downloaded object section, but they'll also be scattered through the various categories, or you can just type sci-fi likely and find them. And start adding them to your maps and, making your own sci-fi maps if you want to. So maybe you're playing in, like Starfinder or something that is a sci-fi setting, you can do that. Man, that's a beautiful map. I'm going to turn off the UI. Just take a look at it here. From this angle. Oh. Hey, John, it was my pleasure. Glad to be here. Remember, everyone, if you enjoyed the stream today, could you please do me a favor and like, share, retweet, whatever the platform exclusive vernacular is, make sure you do that. And if you're not following or subscribed to the stream, please do so. I would hate for you to miss out on future streams and future events, giveaways, etc. By following the stream, it's harder to miss out on those. Lastly, if you're not a member of our Discord, I highly recommend you join. When the stream isn't live, it's one of the best places to get support and community guidance. We have, members of our community that love to offer assistance, moderators that love to offer assistance, staff members that love to provide guidance and assistance, and it's just a great place to get to know other members of our community and, vibe, if you will. The Discord is free, and it's kind of the biggest grouping amalgamation of our community members. There's like over 34,000 members and going strong. So it's a great place to get guidance and support and just hang out in general in between the streams. I feel like there was another bit of news I was going to share, but I can't remember what it is. Talked about the Dam Challenge. Talked about Discord. I can't think of anything else. Well, whatever it was on the tip of my tongue and I forgot. Yeah, congrats again to Sagen on winning that copy, and congrats to the winner of the Dam Challenge, Troutfoot. Troutfoot really put out this stunning build with this prison ghost town map. The lighting, the verticality, the extra, added abstract, backgrounds to really flesh out the map. Just really good design from top to bottom. And remember, if you want to participate, you have between now and the 1st of October to submit your entries. End of day on the 1st, 11:59:59 in your time zone, to submit a map using Haunted as inspiration. Please wait to submit your entries until after Monday, though. I usually, between now and Monday afternoon, will put an announcement sharing the winner, their map, congratulating them, and announcing the new Dam Challenge. That gives everyone a weekend to kind of take a break, think about it, and start designing. I really would hate, I don't like everyone to rush if they can avoid it, but I understand if the weekend's the only time for you to build your map. So if you have time and you have inspiration, make your map. Just wait to submit it until after the announcement's been made. That way it's not lost above it and others miss it. Yep, so 1st of November. Yep, between now and the 1st of November. Sorry, so basically, yep. November, correct. My bad. So I was looking at it and I see October 31st right next to it on my calendar. For some reason, my brain didn't roll it over. So this jump gate stuff, I've been kind of reading it on the side. It's interesting, and I think this is the right direction towards them supporting animated maps. As soon as they increase their file size limits for imports and support animated maps, I'm all for us increasing our export functionality and support for it. But this seems like a step in the right direction. So as long as it's kind of heading that way, I don't see why not eventually. But it does have to have the core functionality as a stock feature before we can address it. If you do want an animated map, though, now, or your players wanting animated maps, I mean, a different virtual tabletop will solve that right away. It is a big jump, you know, to jump into something new. But something like Foundry or Fantasy Grounds, Owlbear, you know, even or above VTT and Owlbear are free and they support it. Foundry and Fantasy Grounds are a one-time purchase for a lifetime license and they support animated maps. I know we're kind of jumping back on a subject from 10-15 minutes ago, but that is kind of the way to address it, unfortunately, for now. That's a bummer. I wish there was more information about that. Oh, man. Fantastic stream. Absolute success. I do want to wrap up just by saying that currently Dungeon Alchemist is on sale for 20% off. It's on sale on Steam. That's the only place you can purchase Dungeon Alchemist. If you're finding it somewhere else, I probably wouldn't recommend buying it there because that's where we are sold exclusively, is through Steam. 20% off is an amazing deal. Really great discount because normally we're not on sale for that, so you get a little bit of a deal. If you're worried about whether Dungeon Alchemist to run on your computer, remember you have a demo that's available on Steam. So you can download the demo, try it out before you buy, see how it runs. Remember, that's just a small slice of Dungeon Alchemist. About like maybe 1/12, 1/10 of the overall like functionality and assets and biomes and stuff like that. But at least you have an idea of how well it'll run before you decide to pull the trigger on a purchase. I hope you all enjoyed the stream today. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. We'll be back on Monday with Map Maker Monday. If you're interested in tuning in to a live build, watching a map be made in real time, where you can ask questions and get support and guidance, feel free to tune in on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, or let's see here, that's about 6 p.m. GMT, I believe, somewhere in there. I got to double check those time zones later, but we'll see you on Monday. Otherwise, again, my name is Mac, the community manager. See you next time I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. Bye. Here, we'll run a little ad before we wrap up, and that'll be the end of it. Let's see. New ad or old ad? Should we do a new ad or an old ad? I'll let y'all choose. And by the way, it's our ad, not some third party. So it's like something for Dungeon Alchemist, not like I'd be making you watch some other crazy ad. Okay, so if you're familiar with the Deer Stalker Productions or the One for All crew, they make fun skits on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff to kind of show off the humorous aspects of tabletop gaming. They helped us make this ad.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist,
Play
the
slave
AI-powered
just in case
map-making
you were just in
application
shock
for
from the
role-playing
first one.
games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
Alrighty. Hope you enjoyed that ad. Little silly, but still fun, nonetheless. was to showcase when we rolled out the new round, like in diagonal rooms. Anyway, thank you everyone for participating in the stream today. We'll see you on Monday or Wednesday. I guess we'll just see you next time you pop in. Back out. Bye.